All right, we got an easy one today. This is for anybody at home with S&S carb. Customer says it leaks gas when it's sitting, so the seat's not closing all the way. There's probably some little particle on it. I'm not going to do a full rebuild on it. I'm going to pull it all apart, clean everything, check it, put it back together. This is something you'll do, I don't know, at your house on your bike if you have this problem. You don't need to rebuild everything unless, you know, your accelerator pump gasket or the, I don't know what you'd call it, plunger thing is going bad. But yeah, so it's quick and easy. I'll show you how to do it. So before you do this, make sure the gas is off, because that would be a mess. Always lay a rag down because it's going to spill some gas from the float, hopefully not a lot. So to get into the float bowl, let it focus. You got one bowl here, there's one in the back, there's one here, and then the third one's a weird, or the fourth one's a weird one. I don't know if I can get in here on this accelerator pump. It's the one in the back. There's 3 bolts to hold it in. It's the one in the back right here. It goes all the way up into the base of the carburetor. So we'll pop those off, see what we got. Now that our float bolt has been pulled, I'm going to clean the jets out just because I'm in here already. Make sure they're clean. So you have one jet right here on the bottom. You've got another jet right here on the side. You pull both those out, and we'll check them out and see how clean they are. For the tight to reach areas, you can use a little 1/4 inch drive and just a normal flathead like this to get in there. I have this little cheap jet cleaning kit. Works good just to feed through all the holes, make sure everything's clean, no gunk. You can use a guitar string or, you know, whatever you got around the house too. Piece of wire. Our jets are clean. I sprayed them out. When you finish cleaning them, look at them in the light and you can see straight through them and see if there's any other garbage in there. But usually when you go through them with that little pick set I have, or the cleaning set, it gets them pretty good. So just double check. So these are back in. Now, we're gonna look into the float bowl. Just look in there and see how much sediment's left and all that. But I'm gonna pull this screw off right here that holds the seat and clean that really well. See if there's any burrs or nicks in it. I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but you can see the sediment floating around in the bottom there. That right there will make the make it not seat. That'll make it leak. So I'm gonna clean this really good, and we're almost done. All right, so now that the carb is clean, I'm gonna pull these 2 other bottom bolts on the accelerator pump down here and check to just make sure it's functioning good and it's not torn or cracked. A lot of the time these will get really dry and then break on you. The accelerator pump bladder is actually good still. It's nice and soft, it's functioning properly, you can see it squirting. But all this corrosion in here is not good. So sit here, clean all that out real good. Make sure you don't lose the 2 seals or the 2 balls that go in there. Clean it, then we'll put it back together and start getting it ready to go back on the bike. All right, so now you're to this stage. and everything's back together, and you want to know if your seat is actually sealing. What you can do is put your mouth on this and blow in, and you can close the float like this and see if it's holding. And it's holding. You can hear when I push it down, it'll release. That's how you check if the float's sealing. I mean, you can do the same thing with gas in it and just tip it around and see, but I don't know, air's about as thin as it gets. So everything's put back together. Make sure before putting the bowl back onto the actual carb that you've got this little rubber O-ring on top, and then you can check your float level too. Make sure it's not coming up high enough to hit the gasket in the top. I think they call for like an 1/8 inch down, I think, on these. So you can see where if it'll focus real quick. Well, you can see where the float bowl's sitting. But yeah, it's time to put it back on. Before you put the air cleaner on, just check, make sure it's all squirting good. I was trying to get a good shot of it, but you can't see it. So yeah, time to put the air cleaner back on. The only thing to worry about now is just getting the choke snap back in on your way in, and always lock tight these 3 bolts, because if one of these falls out and goes in there, goodbye to your motor. So that's it for the S&S carb rebuild clean out. Just go through, check everything, make sure it's clean, put it back together, and you shouldn't have any problems.